What's up everybody, it's your main man Musasha, and welcome to part 4 of Becoming a Black Knight. Now that we've defeated Osiris the Dragon King, let's light this bonfire up here. Commence to the next secret area. Now opening this doorway reveals a secret, basically it's a dragon cult group. And as we proceed into these catacombs, we see a lot of serpentine-looking humanoid enemies. Now these are people that have been trying to convert into dragons, similarly to Osiris. These are his followers, and as you can see, there's one living one remaining. It looks like a lizard with an extended head. We're going to encounter more of these enemies later in the game. Up ahead we have a unique type of gesture called the Path of the Dragon, which allows us to sit in a cool way, but it also unlocks that secret dragon area later in the game. Now, you might be thinking this is just a normal treasure chest and behind it is a secret wall, but in fact the secret wall takes us into the past. And looking at this area up ahead, you might notice that it's very similar to the first area, the Graves area where we first spawned. We are now in fact in the past, back when Undead Gundyr, which was the first boss we fought, was in his prime, and now he is called Champion Gundyr. Now the lore behind Champion Gundyr is he was actually the Ashen Chosen One, and he was sent to link the flame to stop this whole cursed business with all these undead appearing. Basically the curse was, if you die you become an undead, there's no dying in a natural way, so Champion Gundyr was supposed to light the flame, but he arrived too late. The flame was already extinguished. So we're going to pay him a visit and see how we do with this Bandit Knife +2. Now that new enemy that was running past me was a Warden of the Graves, and this NPC here is just an NPC invader called Crystal Cream Lid, if I pronounced that correctly. What I wanted to say about Twin Blade guy was that he drops a bleed Twin Blade weapon, really useful if you want to do a bleed build. Alright, let's get started with Champion Gundyr. Now, you may have seen a summon sign, that was that sword master we fought near Firelink Shrine. Because we killed him, he becomes a friendly NPC which can help us in this fight. But he does give the boss double the HP, so I prefer to fight him alone. That way it's easier to bleed and easier to kill. Very similar tactic to fighting him the first time. We want to bait out his spear attack, his glaive, parry it, get a few hits in, and do a critical repost. He does do a kind of swaying slash, which you might see a little bit later. This is hard to parry. Okay, now we've entered stage 2 of his fight. Notice he doesn't transform into a weird ball sack thing, instead he goes into proper fight mode, doing a special charge attack. Oh, we broke his poise here, so let's get a few hits in. Be very careful. Now this is the attack I was talking about. I tried to parry it and failed miserably and I got punished for it. As you can see, he does not even let you heal. He is crazy in this fight. He's easy to parry once you know which attacks to parry. Now the reason why I've come here is behind the doorway after we beat the boss are the 4 Black Knights which we'll need to farm to get the armor sets. However, we don't have the rings or the carrying capacity to wear these heavy pieces of armor. So let's try kill him first. And I got absolutely wrecked. I should not have parried that attack again. Now we're going to come back to this area. We actually have to progress to the main quest area to beat a new type of boss. Killing this boss will allow us to create the ring from Champion Gundyr's soul, allowing us to carry more stuff, including the Black Knight armor. As you can see, I'm too fat to wear this Winged Knight helmet and gauntlets, so I'm going to drop down to the Knight gauntlets. And I've switched out to the katana just for the upcoming boss fight, which we were meant to fight in the first place. Now we're back to the easy area. And you might notice these enemies are much easier to kill. It just takes 4 hits to kill this basic knight. We still have to be careful, but our armor set let us absorb a lot more. As you can see there, he hardly did any damage. Ooh. Thanks for the gauntlets. Really good gauntlets, as you can see. Only a little bit less strike defense, but everything else is much better. 69.6%, we're under the 70% carry weight capacity, and we're ready to go. Now, I was just checking my absorption rates there. I'm gonna try equip this heavy helmet just so we have a little bit more defense against the upcoming boss. It seems to be a bit better. Yeah, it's in the 29s and 30s. What I was looking at was the top right of the screen where the absorption rates are listed. Cool. Now, if you one-hand attack a shield blocking enemy, you'll see the attack bounces off. Remember to two-hand your weapon so that you can break their shield block poise. I hate this archer guy here, so I'm going to get rid of him. That kick animation I did was to show you guys that these guys can be kicked, and it opens up a repost. Now, unfortunately, this guy will not block. He is persistent on attacking. So I'm going to have to just kill him the normal way. And he drops a deserter armor, which is a much weaker piece of armor. The only thing it has going for it is it's got better dark absorption, as you can see here. See the blue 10.4 at the bottom? Now, opening this door up ahead does something, triggers the boss fight.
Help me.
I like this cutscene because it shows our character's face and you can see this hilarious fatty winged knight helmet.
Outstanding.
Nothing special about this boss except he comes from this strange place called the Boreal Valley. You might remember the dancer came from the Boreal Valley and she was a massive monstrosity. Something about the Boreal Valley that turns people like this seemingly normal knight into giant beast-like monstrosity. We've already entered stage 2 of the fight. As you can see, this is a really easy boss fight for a knight build. He does a few charge attacks and then he does this kind of ice breath. Now, these ice enemies from the Boreal Valley do a special type of frostbite, as you can see there. When you're frostbitten, your stamina regens a bit slower and you take a little bit of critical damage, sort of like bleed. See the meter depleting there, the frost meter. There we go, we've beaten Vort. And we've obtained his soul, which we can turn into his ice great mace. A really useful weapon. Most things in this game are weak to ice. Highly recommend it. You might remember we got Granny's banner. That's what's used up here to transport us up ahead into that bridge area. I'll skip the cutscene here. It's just some winged demons transporting us. And let's start the next area, the Undead Settlement. Now, the Undead Settlement is kind of like a place where the undead farm living. You'll see up ahead. Unique boss in this area is, I call him Treebeard, but he is a giant tree called the Curse Rotted Greatwood. It's a big tree basically that is full of curses. I won't give away too much, I'll let you guys see it for yourself. If you see these strange Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guys, these are priests from the opening cutscene in the game. Basically their journey is to come to their final place to die. But one NPC, Yol, that guy that I just spoke to, refused to die. He has a special purpose to serve, and that is to give us 5 free level ups before he dies. Now, he gives these level ups in a strange way. He draws out our strength by talking to him in the Firelink Shrine, and after that we have to actually die a few times for him to give us more free level ups. It's a really important thing in the game because we have to die 5 times before he himself passes away and unlocks a secret NPC which sells some ridiculously nice goodies. I got rid of those annoying doggos. Let's proceed to the next area and the bonfire right up ahead. So these are the undead farmers that kind of cater to this zone. And you'll see all sorts of corpses of people hanging. They kind of harvest them in a strange way. As you can see one up there ahead of me. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch to a straight sword, which I obtained from one of those Lothric knights. Straight swords are the most popular weapon in the game. I personally try to avoid them just because they're very spammy. A lot of new players love to spam this attack. It's a very good weapon overall to beat the entire game, but I try not to use it too much. Now, this particular Lothric straight sword has extra parry damage. The critical is 110%, and it looks pretty cool. Instead of 100%, which most weapons have as their critical damage. The only weapon that does more critical damage, like from a parry, for example, or backstab, are little daggers. They can have up to 130 or 140% damage. So a dagger is ideal for parrying and riposting. What you can do is you can parry, switch out to a dagger, and then riposte for massive damage. Self-explanatory item here, the repair powder. Just fixes our weapons, but resting at a bonfire does anyway. Now see those barrels over there? Boom, they explode. And what you can do here is you can manually aim using the camera. Let's try hit those ones at the back there. Kobe. There we go, we got it. And you might see a big fat enemy praying at the tree at the bottom. I'm gonna make my way down there. That's called the Evangelist. And this key item is the Loretta's Bones, which we'll give to someone later in the game. As you can see, the Evangelist wields a big, huge mace littered with spikes, and she carries this Bible, which is parryable. I find it hilarious. You can parry a Bible, sort of like the ultimate atheist counterattack. Yeah, missed time my parry there, and I got absolutely smashed. And since it's a spike mace, it does a bit of bleed damage to us. Now this thing that she did was she actually cast some insects, kind of like maggots, to gnaw at our skin. It's kind of disgusting, but yeah. Hey, lucky for us, she dropped an Evangelist hat, which kind of looks like Zoro. I'm going to show you guys here. Bring the camera a little closer, and you can see it is I, Zoro. My guy had a cool mustache. Totally looked like Zoro there. I like this Lothric helmet, it looks pretty badass. Yeah, let's slap on the Lothric gauntlets while we're at it. Absorption rates seem pretty good. Another Estus shard, another flask for us to drink from. Now these pronged plow guys are the most annoying variant of these Farmer Joe dudes. Few enemies over there. You can plunge attack them, but I'm just gonna make my way around here. As you can see, this straight sword makes short work of these guys. You might have noticed I rolled into that last guy and it kind of staggered him. It's a really good way to just cancel their attack while maintaining our invincibility. So this sword has like its heavy attack is a poke, which is different to most side swipes that swords have as their heavy attack. Just testing out the sprint turn. It looks kind of goofy. Let's make our way across this bridge. The normal path is straight ahead, and I'll just explain. If you head to the right there past those barrels, there is a big giant enemy carrying a big cage on his back. Don't hit him, instead jump into his cage and you'll unlock the Mad Phantom Covenant called the Mount Makers. The Mount Makers are special because they're not friendly to anyone. When you're a Mount Maker, your goal is to just kill anyone and you'll level up your Covenant. It doesn't matter if you kill the host or the invader or the host's helper, just kill someone. These slave thief guys, this particular one wields a flamberge, which is a legendary fire sword, and the drop rate is unfortunately really shit. It is a great sword. Excuse the Now this is a secret bonfire that I dropped down to, so let's just get rid of this guy and his buddy at the back here. Collect some extra 9 shards. Something special about the upcoming bonfire: once we rested it, we've consumed our 5 cracked red eye orbs, which we got from Leonard at the Firelink Shrine. He will give us a key taking us to a permanent red eye orb, allowing us to permanently invade and be annoying in other players' worlds. How cool. Now making my way up to the rooftop up here because there's an NPC pyromancer which we want to rescue. This pyromancer sells pyromancies to us once we rescue him, allowing us to have a fire hand and do all sorts of cool little fire spells. He's gone back to the Firelink Shrine. Let's just continue up here. New type of enemy over here. Strange big giant dude. He doesn't have a cage, but he has a big cauldron. Interesting choice of weapon there. Now, these guys are hard to stagger, so be careful of their big slam cauldron attack. If they do get you and slam you into the ground, you are not invincible. They can keep hitting you as long as you stay down, so be careful. Interestingly enough, these enemies on the side, these are the guys that those farmers harvest, and killing them wields absolutely no souls. A new type of undead here wielding this strange wooden hammer. If you want to go for like an MC Hammer type build, this guy is the perfect guy to farm. That weapon is extremely light, but packs a wallop and has an interesting spinny smash combo. Let's make our way into the sewer. And like any sewer, there's rats. You might think these rats are big. Wait till you see Big Mom out ahead. Now that we're done with this special shield of ours, I like to switch out to the Cestus, because the Cestus is not a shield, it's actually a punching weapon, but if you put it in your offhand, it is an instant parry. It has a very quick parry, and I find this parry very useful for fighting other players as well as enemies that you can parry in game. Here comes Big Mama Rat. You notice this big rat is really easy to stun. This rat is actually a kind of like an Easter egg from Dark Souls 1, where we fought a big giant rat in the sewers in that game. But that rat was much harder. You couldn't stun him as easily. I find this one kind of disappointing. And yet another bonfire. Let's rest up here, replenish our Estus flask. And now we're going to get invaded by a special NPC invader belonging to that Mad Covenant. There it is, invaded by Mad Dark Spirit Holy Knight Hodrick. So he belongs to that crazy Mad Covenant, and he will attack not only us but any other players in the vicinity. If I had some friends or invaders in the same session with me. And he wields that flamberge that we saw that thief slave guy wielding. This guy's good to practice your parries on, just be very careful because he can hit like a truck if you don't have enough armor. There we go, parried him again. And our straight sword does a bit extra parry damage, which is cool. I'm gonna try and move away from... I don't want to fight that big huge dude and Hodrick at the same time. Now, he did a jumping attack. The jumping attacks cannot be parried, but you can backstab people when they do them. Oh, you're gonna heal, are you? If you mistime your parry like that, all your stamina gets depleted, you're left in a world of hurt, so be very careful. Gotta get those parries perfectly timed. That little animation means he's out of Estus, so we can now just finish him off. He can't heal anymore. Oh no, my controller died. What a perfect time for your controller to lose its battery. There we go, we killed him with our controller losing battery, and we picked up a vertebrae shackle. So these are the items that you get once you kill a mad phantom, or as a mad phantom kill another player, and you can use this to level up the Covenant to get some cool weapons such as this awesome bleed katana, as well as a special pyromancy which heals you called Warmth. I'm gonna proceed up to this guy and show you just how hard hitting this bastard is. Can't switch to the katana because I fat roll, so I'll need to get my lighter gauntlets. So he wields a saw, and as you can see he's got a kind of like a big door strapped to his back. Enemies that have these types of things on their back can't be backstabbed. You might notice these ginormous spears on the ground. Those are not actually spears. You can see some undead impaled. Let's switch out this armor. These are not spears, these are giant arrows shot by a giant archer up on that tower. You can just make him out if you look hard enough. He's by those crows on that rightmost tower. And what I'm doing here is I'm looking out for his ginormous arrows, making sure that they target not me, like they are now, but the actual other monsters in this area. Let's quickly pick up as much as we can before he starts shooting us again. Cool thing about him is he does area damage with that big huge arrow, so you can use the arrows to kill these guys. Come on. See you later. Let's just get rid of this guy. Leave me alone, buddy. There's a special item on the ledge on the right which we have to jump to. It's called the bone. I think it's called a bone shard, and basically what it does is, I think I've mentioned this before, it increases our potency of our drink. Got off very lucky there. I could have fallen off the ledge easily. Oh, so close. Quickly, quickly! Oh. That is what you don't do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna skip ahead to the area up ahead, but first I want to show you guys a secret little lizard hidden around this corner. This lizard drops what's called a sharp gem. Now, the sharp gem is used to infuse any normal weapon to scale more with dexterity. So if you're leveling up dexterity, this will make your damage a lot better. I'm gonna go quickly collect my souls up here. Hopefully I don't die into those bloody arrows. Ouch. Can't believe that got me. You have to get the roll timing perfect, otherwise you get absolutely wrecked. You annoying spear bastard. The young white branch is a really interesting item. It allows you to camouflage yourself to a random thing in that area, so it's really good for sneaking up or hiding from other players. Some people that I invade love to play hide and seek, and they use that item to hide amongst these massive places, making it annoying to find them. Mortician's ashes are given to the Grandma Handmaiden to give us a few more items. Now another one of these Flambridge guys. Let's see if he drops it. Nothing. We're almost up to the boss here, we just have to make it through this doorway up ahead. See, this enemy has red eyes, which means he's supposed to be a little bit stronger, but he's abysmally weak. We're still in the beginning areas of the game. Leave us alone, Mr. Giant. Okay, let's open the door here. I just fast forwarded a little bit to the corridor at the end. Notice a lot of shrubbery around the entrance and the tunnel coming up. This is the boss room of Mr. Treebeard. You can see him at the back there, just chilling against the tree. A tree resting against the tree, of course. Now you can use those alluring skulls that I unequipped, and the tree guy actually falls for it and kind of goes for them, allowing him to focus on anything but you, which is great. Let's kill a few of these guys, which pisses him off and starts the boss fight. Remember I said he's cursed, he absorbs curses? These curses are represented by these disgusting looking egg sacs on his body. The only way to actually kill him, is to destroy these egg sacs. So let's cure his cancer for him. Part of the fun in this boss fight is to actually find these stupid eggs on his body. You can see there was one on his leg, a few on his back, and on his arm. Breaking them stuns him a little bit, allowing us to try break a few more of them. Strangely enough, we can't destroy this particular one, and yet it's clearly there. Go away. Now bringing him to half health breaks the floor here and commences the second part of the fight. And if you didn't think that was strange enough, now he grows an arm out of his chest, of course. Slapped on my fire pine resin to just do a little bit of extra damage since he's a tree. He's weak to fire. Watch out for that crab. And there we have it. We've wrecked this easy boss. Got ourselves a cool transposing kiln. Thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed part 4. See you in part 5. Later.